وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله Katim Nabi'een sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, that is to give openness and witness and nothing is worthy of worship except Allah. Is one on with our partners and associates, and I also give openness and witness that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is the slave, servant, messenger, and seal of the prophets. Peace be upon the prophet, upon his descendants, upon his companions, and upon the righteous throughout the world, and peace be unto you. Assalamu alaikum, rahmatullahi, Ramadan Mubarak. Praise be to Allah. We're thankful for this blessed day of Jumu'ah. We're thankful for this blessed month of Ramadan. And we're also thankful for this blessed Quran. And Allah said that the Quran is full of blessings. In fact, as we talked last week, we talked about Allah says that Ramadan is the month in which was sent down the Quran as Huda Linas. It's the month that was sent down the guidance for the human being. That's why we have to think about how important this book is for us. In fact, one verse, Allah says, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. That this is the book, and in it is guidance sure without doubt to those who are regardful of their duty to Allah. And that is the whole objective in this month, is to grow into becoming a stronger person who has the consciousness of Allah. See, that's the purpose. The purpose is to become more aware of this obligation and responsibility to Allah, and then our role in preserving the creation. That's what taqwa is about. And we just want to highlight a few things that's very important for us to remember as we journey through this blessed month. We're coming to a close. We said that Muhammad the Prophet said that the first 10 days, as we talked about, was mercy. We in the second 10 days, we're talking about forgiveness, and we said over and over and over again, you've been reading the Quran over and over and over again, you've been saying that Allah said He's Ghafurur Rahim, that He is the forgiving and the merciful. Over and over and over, He reminds us of who He is, that He's been merciful to us, and He's been the one who said He will forgive again and again and again. You know, we read the hadith where Prophet Muhammad said that Allah said that if you didn't sin and turn to Him seeking His forgiveness, He would replace you. Think about that. Here's the picture. Just think about that. And that's how important forgiveness is to Allah for you and I. He said that if you did not sin, if you did not fall short as a growing human being, He said that He would replace you with another people who, when they sin, when they fall short, they would turn to Him seeking His forgiveness, and He would forgive them. Oh, that's powerful right there. See, Allah says, I don't care what you do other than associate partners with Him, He's going to release you. See, because sometimes human beings, we have the tendency to hold people. If somebody has wronged us, we won't let them go for 10, 20 years. But Allah says, listen, His whole objective has been Ghafuru, Al-Ghafuru, the one who's forgiven. His whole objective is to release you because He understands that there's challenges that you go through as a human being. And Allah doesn't want us to go through life with burdens, guilt, shame of what I did yesterday. He said, no, I will release you. If you study people who are really engaged in some practice, I don't care if it's athletes, I don't care if somebody is speaking, you know, they take off the weight. Because they take the jacket off, they take the coat off, because there's too much weight to carry. I can't maneuver. watching boxer, watching martial arts, and I'm not talking about taking hold, I'm just giving you an analogy, they're more flexible. And Allah doesn't want us to be servants of Him to walk around with the weight of what I did yesterday. So He says, He'll forgive you. And that should be a great thing to know that Allah said He's going to release you, that He's going to give you another start. And we're in the second part of this journey of fulfilling the prescribed period. That's why the verse says that when you make the journey, when you make the Hajj, say take your provisions, but your best provision is taqwa. So when I made Hajj, they had suitcases. Some people they was lugging bags. We said, oh man, what you doing, man? You slowing us up. Because every time we go to make a move, we got to make sure you got all this luggage. We got to carry all these bags. And I took one little bag. And whatever I needed, I said, I'm going to buy on the journey. Because I need to be flexible. I don't need to be weighed down. But I need to have with me taqwa. So Allah said, take your provisions on the journey. When you make the Hajj, take your provisions. Take the things you need, but the most important provision is taqwa. That when you go out into the world, consciousness of Allah. Because there's so many forces working to wipe you out. There's all these influences that's working to make you a disrespectful human being, that's working to make you a cold and insensitive human being, disconnected from people. But Allah says, have taqwa, be regardful of Him, because the more regard you have for Him, the greater degree of regard you have for other people. The more aware you be of those forces that's working to break you down. There's forces in society operating 24/7 to break you down. So He says, on your journey, take your provisions, but the best provision is taqwa. Even as Allah talks about the dress in the Quran, dress code. He says, وَلِبَاسُ التَّقْوَى ذَلِكَ خَيْرٌ. That the best dress is consciousness of Allah. Because if you're conscious of Allah, brothers, you're going to be modest, you're going to be decent. If you're conscious of Allah, sister, you're going to be decent, you're going to wear clothes that cover up your body. That doesn't entice and move people to lust. So He says that وَلِبَاسُ التَّقْوَى ذَلِكَ خَيْرٌ. Taqwa is connected to everything. In fact, Allah says He loves those who are regardful of Him. So this month is an intense month. This is an intense month that we work to rid ourselves of the blockage. Now last week we talked about Ramadan. We talked clearly what that word means. It's the month. The month of the Quran, the month of transformation, the month of revolution. The verse says Ramadan is the month in which was sent down the Quran as Huda Linaz. What is Ramadan? It's burning. Burning off jealousy. Burning off envy, burning off arrogance, burning off greed and selfishness. If we don't burn these things off, they're going to be blocks. And anytime you have a block, that means life, the quality of life is reduced. The blood has to circulate. Life itself is movement. Where there's no movement, there's death. If they grab your arm, they hold your arm, the blood doesn't flow. They said, my arm went to sleep. Because the blood is not flowing through the body. Get into where it needs to get. See, the blood, it has a destination. All through your body, the blood has a destination from your heart to all over your body. And anytime there's blockage, that blockage of the flow of the blood leads to deterioration of that life. So the arrogance, it blocks the goodness in the human being. Greed, it blocks the goodness in the human being. Selfishness, it blocks the flow of the good qualities that Allah put in your body. That's why we have to work to burn off arrogance, to burn off envy, jealousy. Don't you know there's a verse in the Quran where Allah started talking about in Surah Al-Falaq? In the last part of this powerful surah, it begins with Qul a'udhu bi. It says Qul a'udhu bi rabbil falaq. I seek refuge in the evolver of the dawn. And then it goes on to talk about the missions of the created things. But it ends with talking about seeking refuge from the mischief of the envious one as he envies. Now, if you read where Allah said you seek refuge from the mischiefs of the envious one, envy is dangerous. And envy suggests, I don't like what you got, and I think what you got I should have. And because what I believe you got, what I should have, I'll do almost anything to injure you, to harm you, to discredit you. That's how dangerous envy is. It's so dangerous, Allah said, you seek refuge from the mischief of the envious ones as he practiced envy. So we got to burn that off. Because you can't have strong community life if people are envious of one another. So Ramadan is all about removing the blockage that interfere with strengthening the bond you should have with Allah. So you burn off the blocks. You burn off the arrogance, because arrogance is shaitan. What does shaitan say in the Quran? Anna khairu minhum. I am better than him. And the reason why he said I'm better than, because you made me from fire. Now, what's the very nature of fire? You think about fire, what does fire do? Fire rises up, overpowers, breaks things down, and ultimately destroys. Isn't that the nature of the devil? To ultimately destroy your life. Not just your physical life, your mental, moral, intellectual, your spiritual life. So that you're not of those who Allah says he loves, because they are those who are conscious of him. Because he says he clearly, for Allah is with those who are conscious of him and those who do good. Now, those who do good, they're the muhsineen. And the muhsineen are those who are driven to help. Because they understand that life is movement. I have to give of myself. That's why selfishness is so dangerous. Because selfishness says don't give, don't allow it to flow. Selfishness says that you keep to yourself. I want mine. In fact, I want mine and yours. Because what's closely connected to selfishness is greed. I remember I watched the movie long time ago, I think Wall Street. And the guy said that greed is good. Greed is good. And he was driven by just getting, and ultimately the greed made him destroy his business. And Allah says, and whoever is saved from the greediness of his soul. That's what's going to save you. You got to get rid of greed. We have to burn off greed. We have to burn off arrogance. We have to burn off selfishness so the good life can flow. Because that's what Allah wants to have. Ultimately, Allah wants us to have a good life. So he said that Ramadan is the month in which was sent down the Quran as Hudan Linas. And when you look around in society, you see that man is hunger. He's starving for guidance. And he thinks he has guidance. And doesn't realize that he's been misguided all the time. So Allah has to remind us, listen, this is the month that I want you to understand, human being. That I reveal the supreme knowledge that will allow you to position yourself, not just position yourself, that will allow you to reposition yourself. That's what Ramadan knowledge is, allowing us to reposition ourselves. As we get stronger, our position is becoming stronger. So if our position is becoming stronger, we are repositioning ourselves. Repositioning ourselves as the ruler, the Khalifa in the earth. And you cannot be the Khalifa in the earth if you are consumed by greed. You cannot be the Khalifa in the earth if your life is consumed by envy and jealousy, because it will block the flow of connection. When we read where it says Linas, that's the social, that's the connecting being. Nas is the one who understands sociability. The sensitivities of bonding with another human being. So he said, this is the guidance that shows the human being how to reconnect. Because over time, he's been experiencing disconnection. And the further you pull yourself from the source of life, the weaker you become. So here's the picture. You got these 2 points. There's Allah on high, there's you as a human being. And the whole connection in this journey is to make that connection stronger, working to get closer to Allah. That's why Allah says that we're journeying towards Him. The whole journey is to strengthen this bond. And the closer we get to Allah, with taqwa, with a healthy regard, then we squeeze out envy. We squeeze out jealousy. I'm too connected to Allah to be envious of His creation. Because envy suggests that you don't feel content with what Allah gave you. Because whatever the person has that you have that you're envious of, you don't believe that's for them. You think that's what you should have. Because you have not yet come to a level of accepting what Allah gave you for your life. Because when Allah created you, know that He gave you what you would need for your life, not what nobody else had. See, what the person has to reach their destiny, that's what Allah gave for them. That's why He's Al Khaliq. He is the creator. When He creates, there's a plan in His creation. And know that whatever you need to reach your destiny, Allah gave it to you. And then what you don't have, He gave you enough resource, enough skills and ability to get it from somebody else. Yeah. What you don't have, He's giving you the ability to articulate your needs and wants to other people. That's why Muhammad the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said that do not look up to those who are more advanced than you, who are superior to you, but look down to those who are less fortunate than you. By chance, you may appreciate what Allah has done for you. So the more you look up to others without an awareness that they have what they need and want for their life, you shrink. You shrink. That's why people get messed up with all this language. America give you the stars. See, they look up to the stars. I'm not talking about the stars in the sky. They look up to the stars as human beings. They look up to the stars and they think the stars have what they don't have. That I can't even reach his level. And then America tell you, they give you an American idol. I begin to idolize these stars. And I don't believe that I can achieve what they've achieved. That these are some exceptional human beings. But even if you don't achieve a certain level, know that what Allah gave you is enough. I hope you understand and see what he gave you for your life is enough. But he tells us, although he is Al-Khaliq, the creator, he lets us know that he is the Rabb. And the Rabb means that he is still developing you. Don't you know, for some people, it took a long time for them to come into real awareness of their great worth? But they've been moving, they've been struggling, they've been striving, and then the breakthrough came. That's why we talk about the qadr. We talk about, look, you don't know. You may see the person where they're at right there. Somebody can't be judging people. Because the person that is right now may not be like that 10 years from now. He said that we are constantly journeying towards him. So this is a great month, a very impacting month, a month that we go on the inside. Remember last week we talked about the real soul food, that you got to feed your soul, you got to read this Quran. You have to have a hunger for this Quran because you know what this Quran is going to do for your soul, for your mind, and your spirit. You want to develop a relationship with this Quran because you know what this Quran has done for the world and what it is doing for the world right now. And then we teach this to other people. What did Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam say? خيركم من تعلم القرآن وعلمه. See yourself as a teacher. You don't need to be degreed. You don't need to be approved. Allah himself says we have to teach this Quran as given to us as Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. خيركم من تعلم القرآن وعلمه. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وإن كان عذاب. Assalamu alaikum. You know, Allah said he loved the muhsineen. He loves the doers of good. You know, I was reading, and I want to share this with you, I was reading a great quote from a brilliant mind, poetess in America. And we was talking about the soul of the human being. Giving. Everything about this life is about giving. Your whole body is a testament of taking and then giving. I just mentioned to you about greed, of just wanting to take. But your body is a great testament of breathing in life. And when you breathe in the life of oxygen, there's something you must do if you are to live. See, if you begin to take in and don't give out, you die. I mean, to just hold your breath forever is very discomfortable. Some people have done it for minutes, I mean, longer minutes than others. But it's not a good feeling. I've seen people swam from, you know, one side of the pool to the other, holding their breath. But it's not a good feeling. Because Allah had already set our system up that as we breathe the life force in, got to give it up. As you take the food into your body, and the nutrients are taken from the food, you got to release it. And if you don't release that food that you put in your body, it's going to cause you some real problems. So as we take in, we have to give out. When we give out, it does something for the soul. That's why I was talking to you about the whole idea of life and movement and blockage. And the envy, the arrogance, the selfishness, the greed, those are blockages that block the flow of life. And then these blockages eventually lead on to major problems inside your body. Maya Angelou said, I have found that amongst its benefits, giving liberates the soul of the giver. It's about liberation. It's about freedom. It's about not being weighed down. Now, I read it, I'm sure many of you have read it, and I'm very impressed with them because it's a great thing because, you know, there's so much debt in America, right? And some of you probably read the story of the man who I respect what he did. You're talking about liberating. Man gave a commencement speech. And in the commencement speech to the Morehouse graduates, he said that me and my family are going to relieve you of your debt. Now you imagine going to school, 4 years of college, one young man had a $90,000 debt. Do you know how much debt weighs people down? Psychologically, emotionally, making bad choices because of circumstances. And the man said, listen, I got a little paper, the family got a little money. And it says that this man here is the wealthiest African American on the planet. $5 billion, a lot of money. Company built $46 million. But from that, I'm going to relieve all of you young men. I'm going to give you a brand new start. That's powerful now. A man who just a few weeks ago probably was unknown to most. But said, I want to relieve you of this burden because people come out of school, they got the burden, I got to pay this student loan back. And then I don't pay this student loan back enough time now, my credit messed up. That means I'm not even, not to get a car, not to get a house, I'm not even able to get an apartment. And don't you know sometimes when your credit messed up, don't you know you can't sometimes get a job? Brother told me he went to get a job one time. I said, okay, we're going to hire you. Fill out the application, got the job, call back, said, we check your credit report, credit not good, we can't offer you this job. Can you imagine that? So the man said, oh, here's what me and my family gonna do. We're gonna relieve the entire class, not one, not two, but as opposed to it came up to somewhere around $40 million. Now look, when I read the Quran where Allah says that you can give in public or you can give in private. See, when you give in public, there's an impact and then it inspires others to say, I want to give. See, Allah says he loves those, he's with those who do good, the muhsineen. That you make an impact and then that impact inspires others to say, you know, I can give a little bit. Because I want to touch some people's lives. I want to relieve people of their burden. I want to make life better for people. That's what the whole idea of zakat is. Zakat is to help people to make their situation better. Because the cat has everything to do with being a tool for social improvement. So we have the principle of zakat, and then we have another principle of sadaqah. Zakat is the obligation. That's one of the 5 pillars we give the zakat. That principle means it helps us to purify our soul. That's why in Surah Al-Shams, Allah says, "Qad aflaha min zakat." And he succeeds who purifies his soul. Now your soul is connected to the word zakat. That as you spend it, as you give, you are now relieving your soul of the greed we were talking about. You're relieving your soul of the selfishness we're talking about. Because aflaha min zakat. And he succeeds who spends on his soul by giving to others. So I read the story. I said, this is a great thing. You have a whole entire school who've been the recipient of a gift that gave them a good start. See, Allah wants us to give. Maya Angelou said, I found that amongst its benefits, giving liberates the soul of the giver. And once you realize, see, somebody gave you something. And then you have to take from what Allah has given you and then share it with other people. And the wise know that the more they give, the more comes back to them. The law of reciprocity says that the more you give, it comes back to you. It reciprocates. We're taught to give, to aid, to assist, to help, to build people up, to give people the confidence that they can build their lives up because somebody cares about them. And the more we begin to care about people, the better the world can become. So I share that little story with you because it's a great picture. It's a great picture of what can happen when you use your resources to help people to make their lives better. Now those young brothers right there, in fact, when they heard the man say it, I seen something, they looked around, they couldn't believe it. Look to the right. Is that what he just said? Because most people leave school with a weight on, I got to pay back $50,000. I read in the Quran where Allah said, Muhammad the Prophet, he relieves the burden that are on the people. That's our mission. Our mission is to relieve the burden on people, the emotional burden, the psychological burden, the social burden, the burden of debt, the burden of drug addiction. Our mission is to help people to relieve the burden that they walk around in the world with. Because the more weight you have on, the more you're going to be weighed down. The more you're going to be troubled. Have a troubled soul, the more pain you're going to experience, psychological pain, emotional pain, mental pain, anguish, depression. When that man relieved them of that burden, it forever changed those young men's lives. And then they feel obligated to help somebody else. That's why the verse said that you give in public and you give in private. We don't want to, just want people to look at what we're doing, but when you make it public, man, it does something for people's spirit. In fact, research shows that the relationship with the giver, it does something for the giver's spirit. I'm doing something good for people. And then the recipient, man, thank you, it does something for their spirit. I appreciate it, I feel good to know that you wanted to help me. And then it does something for the people that's watching. See, 3 are affected. The giver, it liberates their soul. The receiver, it does something for their soul. And then the observer, who says, you know what? I should do something like that. Now, I may can't do it on that level, but I can do something. I can help people to make their lives better. And when I give, I believe more is to come. See, some people don't give because they got this idea that if I give, I'm going to have less. And they operate in what they call scarcity. It ain't enough. See, but with Allah is abundance is more than enough. We live in a world of abundance. We're not lacking in anything. All we have to do is pursue the course to get there. Allah said, that man, woman gets nothing but what they strive for. And that man that acquired that 46 billion, he worked for it. In the same way he worked for it, we can work for it. The same gifts and skills Allah bless others with, know that He's blessed you too. But the question is, how much have you and I worked on developing what He blessed us with? You're gifted. Never underestimate that. You have more than you probably even understand. But you got to go to work on it. That's why when we hear the word hayya, man, that means hayya for that. Go to work, dig the soul, dig deep in your soul. And you'll be surprised as to what you can achieve. So in closing, here's the verse Allah says, whoever works righteousness, man or woman that has faith, verily to him will we give a good life, a life that is good and pure. And we will bestow on such their reward according to the best of their intentions. See, Allah says, those who believe, whoever work righteousness, male and female, they got faith. He said, He will cause them to live a good life. A good life. Not a bad life. Allah is with us, we should be living bad lives. If we have taqwa, we're getting closer to Allah, we should be living good lives. We should be building relationships, building businesses, providing the basic needs, having cultural experiences, having fun, having life. He said, whoever works righteousness, just doing the right thing. That's why I like when Spike Lee did that movie, just do the right thing. See, if we do the right thing, Allah says, as a result of us doing the right thing, He's going to cause us to have a good life. And then He says, a life that is pure. He wants pureness. He wants goodness. Muhammad, the prophet, peace be upon him, said, Allah is good and accepts nothing but good. We don't come to Allah's way with corruption and badness and illness in our hearts. Allah said, only he will prosper who brings to Allah a good heart. This month is about getting your heart right, burning off all those blocks, the greed, fear, the arrogance, selfishness, envy, burn it off, jealousy, burn it off, so that the life can begin to flow, because those are nothing but blocks, because Allah said He wants those who are pure. And then He says, as a result of all that right there, we will bestow on such, not according to what they do, but according to the best of their intentions. Even if you don't complete what you say you want to do, Allah said He's going to reward you for your intent. It goes back to your heart. Get your heart right. Get your intent right. Allah said He will bless you just for intending to do the right thing. Well, I love this way of life called Islam. He's just not going to reward you for what you do. He said He's going to reward you for the best of your intention. That's why Muhammad the prophet said that man gets, he said his actions are but by intention. And everyone should have that which he intends. Even if you don't accomplish it, but you intended to do right, Allah going to bless you for the intention. Oh, that's powerful. Allahu Akbar, that's powerful. So let's work to live this good life as we continue this journey through completing these 30 or 29 prescribed days of becoming better, stronger, more committed in wanting to do the right thing to grow a world that reflects what this Quran is all about. a world of justice, a world that's built on truth, a world that's built on the sadaqah we talk about. Imam Muhammad said that sadaqah, we talked before, I want to close, we talked about zakat was the obligation, but sadaqah, Imam Muhammad says sadaqah is following the natural impulses of your heart. It's not an obligation, but my heart tells me I should do this because I feel for another human being. It's being truthful to your spirit. So if your spirit says give 50, don't talk yourself out of it. You got to give it. And Allah said He will reward you according to the best of your intentions. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. السلام عليكم.